Hey everybody, it's Devin.
And Kate.
Welcome to Mid Crimes.
Correction, I actually have a guest host in the Pod Lab today, and her name is Raspy Devin.
Raspy Sexy Devin.
Raspy Sexy Party Girl Voice Devin.
I would just like to say, 'tis the season.
'Tis the season for our littles to bring home all these lovely chest colds, which I'm just getting over one as well.
Halloween is over. Time for germs.
Time for just gross, sticky hands with snot, bubbles everywhere, and it's gross. It's gross in my house too. So
Yes.
Yep.
Here we are.
Here we are.
But I look like shit. I feel okay.
You look like
I sound like shit.
a shiny, beautiful,
but
brand new penny.
showing up.
She is showing the fuck up because
that's what we do.
She's got gumption.
Gumption.
I love that word, and I almost never use it.
You don't use that word.
No, I don't.
That's interesting.
Well, you have it today.
Oh, thank you.
And it's my favorite episode of the whole year, Break Room Banter for season 3.
The whole year.
I'm doing a dance for the people who are not on YouTube watching. I'm dancing.
I'm doing a little head bob.
I'm doing the Pod Lab
I'm
shuff.
doing a head bob. So this is very relaxing.
Yep.
This is what we ask for all season long.
It's what we call loosey-goosey. So we were just talking about holidays, and Devin said, well, you know, what kind of flower am I? I don't even remember how we got to that. And I was like, oh, you're a beautiful poinsettia. And she was like, fuck you, basically, and threw that back in my face and said, I am not. They are too inexpensive. And I said, okay, well, hold on. I was trying to appeal to your Christmas-loving jolly side. And I happen to love poinsettias and think they're gorge, so...
I did do that.
And then I was like, fine, if we're going by fiscal value of the flower, then you are a rare orchid that is $80 or $90 a stem.
That appeased me.
That appeased her, and
that
here we are.
Appeased me.
So yeah, that's...
I don't want to be around only once a season, like once a year.
I mean, that is fair. That is fair.
And they're very, like, I don't know, they're not my favorite. Okay. I am very jolly.
Well, you know,
I have unpacked 3 totes of Christmas decorations so far.
Okay. And I would like to say that those of you who have been following us since season 1 know that Devin is usually the Christmas queen and I am usually the spooky queen.
Correct.
But the second Halloween was over, I started decorating my house for Christmas.
And she does not do that.
I don't do this.
They are a December 26th, the tree comes down kind of family.
100%.
That is who you guys are.
And I think that will still be us. I think I like the idea of getting it all cleaned out for the first of the year. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's my...
I'm a it stays up till the 1st.
See, and that a lot of people do that too until like New Year's, like a little after New Year's. And so like maybe we'll do that too this year, but I don't know. But
you beat me.
I beat you. I got some. I've been on, I don't know if you guys have been on like Home Goods and TJ Maxx TikTok with all the Christmas stuff that they have, but it actually drove me to visit Home Goods and TJ's, and I just got
Have you seen my new favorite thing, since this is so relaxing today for an episode? My new favorite reels are the people that are at Home Goods, TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and they go, okay, if it's under $10, I'll get it.
Oh my God.
And then they check the price and then they're like, damn it, it's 15. Or woohoo! Like, I feel like I need and I need to go to that.
Yes.
To the store.
Why is that so relaxing to watch people shop? I think because I like to shop for certain things. If it's like fun decor things, I do enjoy like going out and like perusing and shopping. And it's like I can do that just by watching reels or watching TikTok, and then I don't actually spend the money. This person who's filming the video is spending all the money, but then I eventually will go to the store and buy things. So I don't know.
You probably had next to no Christmas decor as of like
almost
3
nothing.
to 4 years ago.
I was very much like here's the tree and stockings.
Mm-hmm.
And then it started 2 years ago with, okay, I want a Christmas village, one of those ceramic villages that lights up. Because my family always had one as a kid, and I was like, I want one of those. And then when I put that out, I was like, God, you know, that makes my house look so pretty. How else can I make my house look really pretty? What other things can I buy to put? And now I have a little forest of Christmas trees, like ceramic and glass Christmas trees. And I have this little board with a little countdown for my kids.
I'm very excited today because it's not finished yet, but I took out my Christmas village out of my tote today and set it up on the bar where it's going to go.
And this is a special one because it was your grandmother's.
It was my grandmother's.
So that's a special one.
It was my grandmother's. Years ago, probably 15 years ago, I started getting pieces from my father. He had the whole set. I started getting pieces every year. He'd give me a new piece and whatever. I now have the whole thing.
Which is so
and
beautiful.
I absolutely love it. My son said to me earlier today, Mommy, this is going to look so beautiful.
Oh.
And I was like, it's really old, buddy. And he's like 50 years old.
If you only knew, you sweet soul.
And I'm like, well, I guess
Probably?
we're going to have to ask Grandpa.
Yeah.
I was like, but my grandmother passed almost 20 years ago.
Right. Yeah.
Which is crazy to think. But I'm like, so it's probably 50 plus. It could be 60, 70 years old. I got to find it. I got to ask my father.
But like, what a beautiful heirloom, though.
I love
for
it.
Your family who loves Christmas.
And I have not put it out in about 3, maybe 4 years.
Oh my God, you're going to want to put it out. Right, tiny hands. But your boys are old enough now to be redirected.
Yes,
and
it's a little higher up. So it's not like, it's at their head level, but not like play level.
So we just have to supervise and say, we look, but we don't touch.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so taking it out today, I hadn't taken it out in, like I said, 3 or 4 years.
Yes.
So it was nice to bring it back out again because it's one of my favorite pieces.
I love my village and I look forward to setting it up every year and like turning off the lights and lighting it up. And
Do you add to it?
I try to, but I have such a small space that it goes on. What I'd like to do is, because both my kids play hockey, they're like big into hockey. What I'd like to do is find, because I have a little pond. It's like a little mirror pond.
Yeah.
I need to find, I actually even went to the Yankee Candle store looking for little hockey players and like a hockey net.
You can totally find them.
They were not at Yankee Candle, so I got to order it anyway. I keep putting them in like my Amazon cart, and then I'm like, well, Christmas, and then I just I never ordered those for myself.
The village that my mom had when I grew up had this little skating rink on it.
Yeah,
and like you could play music, and then the magnets would move.
Oh, and they would move.
So it looked like they were ice skating on it.
That's cute too. Christmas, you guys.
That's our Christmas mojo.
That's
for
our
those
Christmas
that stuck to
moment.
It's Breaker and Banter, so
it is. We got a couple stories, and
I think excuse me.
No,
I think we decided to extend our season one more episode.
Yes, we're going to do one more case episode.
One more case to end season 3.
Yep, and then we'll wrap things up, tuck it away for the holidays, and see you in January.
So the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, when everybody's traveling, and you got your AirPods in, listen to Med Crimes.
Yeah, baby.
Because that will be the end of season 3.
It will, and we will wrap it up in a neat little bow for Christmas.
For Christmas.
The face I just made, though.
He looks like a little mouse.
We got... God, you guys are just like fabulous. We have a few stories, and I picked a couple specifically because I felt like they were really important to tell. And a lot of the anecdotes and stories and things that we get are like after we do an episode where somebody can really relate to that. And then they'll message us with like how that really resonates and relates to them and something that they want to share with us. And so I wanted to share a few of those. So this person actually emailed us, and I'm not going to use her name because I don't know if she wants me to use her name or not. But she just sent us this brief message that I wanted to share about with like 3 sort of brief little anecdotal topics that I thought were like kind of cool. So this one says, hello, I have 2 medical adjacent crime stories I wanted to share with you, and a story that isn't really about crime, but it is medical related. First crime. My mom had a friend who was repeatedly getting sick and on the brink of death. It was multiple times in a row. His wife kept bringing in mac and cheese into the hospital. It got to like a point where the doctor was like, quote, "Is there anyone who might want you dead?" End quote. What? Turns out his wife was trying to murder him via mac and cheese.
Oh my God. Why mac and cheese? It's my favorite, first of all.
I know. Why do you have to bring mac and cheese into this? Like,
first of all, it's my favorite.
Well, clearly it was his favorite because he like ate it like multiple times. And now he refuses to eat it to this day.
Well, wouldn't you?
I would too. That would kind of turn me off from mac and cheese. So nobody poisoned my mac.
What was in it?
I don't know. She didn't write that.
Damn it. I want to know what it was.
I do too. All right. Number 2. I know a person who works in the medical field who had a partner detail on a paper the ways that they were going to kill them. I won't go into too much about this because it's still ongoing, but OMG. OMG. I echo that OMG. This was somebody
Like
who she knows.
step-by-step instructions?
Yeah, like in
What?
detail.
Was there like pictures too to like instruction A, put the knife here, XB?
Yeah, like a diagram. Like, was there a
Yes.
diagram?
Like when you're putting furniture together.
I'd love to know more. Maybe if this like makes it into the news, we'll know more.
WTF.
WTF is right.
Ugh.
And then third and final, my mom had a friend, and her mom and her friends. Her mom had some friends who had seen some shit. Doozies. My mom had a friend who was told by doctors in Arizona that he had appendicitis, and he got to tell them that he did not, in fact, have an appendix. Whoops.
Guess who also doesn't have an appendix?
Me? And you. None of us in this room have an appendix.
Sweet.
Woo! Those are my weird and semi-related stories I thought I'd share. Well, thank you, sharer. Those are fun. Those are fun. So, this next one, again, she did not tell me explicitly that I could use her name, so I'm not going to. She says, to start off, I have to say, amazing job on your podcast. I enjoy it.
Thanks.
I know.
Aw, shucks.
I enjoy it so much, and I am so happy every time a new episode pops up. It feels like listening to friends telling me a story, which like gives me the most warm and fuzzies. I can't even.
You are our friend.
Oh yeah, we are friends. Like, you're just sitting there in the room with us as we talk.
You're right over there.
She's literally
by the ghost light.
She's right by the ghosty light, which has still flickered. Flickers every time. I listen to many, many podcasts, but yours feels like home. Oh my God. Okay, so
that's such a nice compliment.
That really is. It hit me right in the feel box.
Look at us go.
I know. We're killing it over here. The reason I listen to so many podcasts is that I have ME, myalgic encephalomyelitis.
Oh.
On some days, I can do stuff around the house. I cook, I make paintings on a really good day, I read books, and I do crafts. On others, I can only close my eyes and listen to podcasts. So thank you with all my heart for being that wonderful relief on dark days.
That's very sweet. I'm sorry for what you go through. That's awful.
I know. I'm writing to you because there is an ongoing case of a med crime that scares me very much. It is the case of a girl named Millie McCanish, who has severe ME. Your episodes about Maya Kowalski made me think of this case.
Oh.
ME is, like Maya's, one of those rare diseases that is poorly understood, which gives a lot of trouble with doctors and every other authority figure involved. Except, this disease is not rare at all. Under-researched and under-teached, perhaps because the majority of people suffering it are women. Yes, that is typical.
Yeah.
I tried to rustle up some numbers and data for you, but I'm having a hard time finding it. My brain isn't braining as well as it should, let's just say. The case of Millie scares me because I see these types of things happen again and again, and it is so unnecessary and so scary, harmful, and in the worst cases, it kills. It sounds so selfish, but this could happen to me. It could happen to my friends. It is incredibly frightening. I hope very much that you could talk about this disease and about Millie's case, or perhaps a case similar to hers. We need people to know what ME is and what PEM, or post-exertional malaise, means. It is a big part of ME and why it can't be treated like most other afflictions, and why people suffering from it need to be incredibly careful about what they do and what kinds of exertion they expose themselves to day to day, and why it is so dangerous and harmful to go by outdated guidelines on how to treat ME, which sadly, still so many doctors do. For example, GET, or graded exercise therapy, is prescribed but makes the condition worse, or it is deemed psychological, which it is in fact a physical disease. I hear stories from friends and acquaintances who also have ME regularly about doctors not believing them, and for instance, sending them to psychiatry instead, which they aren't even able to talk or tolerate other people in the same room. About cases like Millie, where they are forced to cross their boundaries, sending them spiraling down into an even worse condition and refusing to treat them. And many, many, many more stories about the government doctors not believing the degree of disability, thus not getting any support, benefits, or mobility aids, etc. Can you imagine the amount of severely disabled people, because of this financial trouble, not being able to leave an abusive partner or parents? Or even having to live in poverty and not be able to access support because you are physically unable to reach them? I am lucky enough to have access to a mobility scooter, a shower chair, and help with cleaning my small house. Many of my friends with ME or similar or worse health get denied, even after going to court for it. It is like the lottery. I'm sorry, I might be overwhelming you here, but I really hope you can look into it. I'm scared for my future and that of many others. ME is a post-viral disease, so it can start after getting Lyme, COVID, or other viral illnesses.
Oh,
This means since 2019, more and more people contract ME, perhaps more than we as a society can even care for. So
wow.
I thought it was important to kind of bring that up because I believe, have read about ME,
Mhm.
but I do not believe I've ever encountered anyone that has been diagnosed or suspected to have that.
Mhm.
And I'm not very well versed in it. So I wanted to open the conversation and just share that.
It sounds pretty devastating, first of
Very,
all,
very
and
devastating.
very troubling. And I think, it's really our healthcare system in so many ways is flawed.
So broken.
It's flawed in so many ways, and we're not going to get uber political
Political.
here,
Mhm.
but it's really troubling.
Mhm.
And it's just, the lack of access to care for someone's body,
Yeah.
to
Mhm.
just function.
Yeah.
Or get what they need is really troubling.
Absolutely. And this echoes the Maya Kowalski case
Right.
so much because, and echoes any case like with complex regional pain syndrome, because it's one of those things that people just don't understand. And they assume that you're lying or faking it because there may not be any physical data
Right.
to explain those symptoms that are very specific and debilitating. And the fact that it affects mostly women is even more devastating because how many of us as women have gone to the doctors and said, okay, well, the problem that you're complaining about can be fixed by weight loss or anxiety.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
My poor sister lived with epilepsy, literal epilepsy, since she was a late teen.
Yep.
And went to neurologist after neurologist after neurologist,
Uh-huh.
not getting diagnosed, told she had severe anxiety with panic attacks. Finally, she had a female neurologist who listened to her, which I'm not dogging male doctors.
Of course not.
We have a lot of listeners. We love you guys too.
Yes.
There are lots of good ones, but there
But
are some apples
sometimes
that just make you feel as a woman that they're not being listened to. Finally, she had a neurologist who said, you know what, let's do an EEG. I don't know. Let's do one because we don't have another explanation for your symptoms. Massive epileptiform abnormalities. And now and it's like, she's been like driving this whole time. She's been, you know what I mean? Like it's devastating.
Right.
Let's do an episode about that. And I want to look into Millie McCanish's case because
it sounds ongoing. So
it sounds, yes.
Who knows what kind of info we have.
Exactly.
But,
so maybe more to come down the road on that.
4?
Yeah. So that's numero dos. And I have one more. So this one came to us after we did our Hurricane Katrina episode.
Yeah.
And we had said, hey.
Right at the same time of Hurricane Helene.
Yeah. Sorry about that, by the way. We did not plan all of that.
That was poor timing.
It really was poor timing, but we recorded that well in advance.
Like 2 weeks beforehand.
Before we knew that hurricane was going to be a big problem.
That was on our day. I think that was on a day where we did multiple.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. That's why we were so ahead of time. Yeah, we were. Yeah. So yeah, that's what's happening with that. So
Murphy's Law.
It is. And we had asked at the time of the episode, hey, does anybody who was working or living down there at the time, like, have any stories to share? We would love to know from your perspective.
Did you get one?
You would not believe in this story.
Oh my God.
So,
oh my God.
I know. So this is devastating and so sad.
Oh gosh. Am I prepared for this?
Probably not. Honestly, probably not. So, I spent Hurricane Katrina in Chalmette, Louisiana. I remember it was so hot and the sickest patients were with us. They couldn't withstand the heat. About 10 passed. We had a new shell of a building that was to be completed within the next few years. We used that to house people that came over this beautiful overhanging pavilion we had just built for patients to go outside but not leave the hospital. About 150 extra people came over in any kind of boat they could find. The water came up fast. 1 minute it was fine. The next there were 14 feet of water.
Oh, gosh.
Some engulfing the small one-story homes next to the hospital. You couldn't even see the rooftops. I knew that if anybody was in that house, they were gone. We spent a couple of days at the hospital. Some would sleep on the roof to try to stay cool, but turning on any type of flashlight prompted screams from people lying on the rooftops or in the attic. How devastating is that? I watched an RV float into the nursing home next door.
Oh, no.
Eventually, the police and fire department, who were in the only area that didn't flood, hijacked any boat they could find. We then began to lift what was left of our 41 patients through a broken window that was sucked out during the storm. That's a whole different story. We placed our patients on sheets and, as a unit, moved them through the window to the roof. We then carried them across the roof and lowered them onto boats where the local heroes took them to the Chalamet jail. Staff went in a few boats to take care of them as well. After we got our patients all out, then more staff began to go. Soon the water had receded and some staff were left. We took care of our patients at the jail on bunk beds. Charting was minimal.
Oh, my goodness.
Something as to, quote, evacuation plan in process. Like they would write, instead of like writing like a note on like what happened, they'd say evacuation plan. Because what can you do?
Yeah.
Nurses were falling out left and right from heat exhaustion. So like that's like a southern term for fainting. We don't use that up here as much. Fluids were becoming scarce. For lunch, we would eat 2 grapes and a piece of ham.
Oh, my goodness.
The firefighters went to the local Walmart and obtained some non-perishables and made a meal for us after that. Warm green beans and potatoes from a can never tasted so good. My friend finally, after 4 or 5 days, got in touch with her family, one of which was a senator at the time.
Oh, wow.
Next thing I know, helicopters started coming. They had no idea we were there.
What?
Nobody had any clue that these people were there. They tried to get the nurses in the ferry out, but then there were gunshots. While being at the jail, we noticed that there were nursing home patients we recognized. One touched my friend's leg on the second day and said, "I'm so hungry, honey."
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my friend lost it.
That's awful.
We then realized their nurses were not there and they were helpless and just laid on a mattress.
Oh, my goodness.
This is heartbreaking.
I can't. Wow.
We started at one end and cleaned them up and fed them all.
Oh, wow.
This woman is a freaking hero.
Yeah, she is.
We did it all over again in the morning. Thank God the helicopters came because extra patience is not what we needed, but we made it. I have so much more I could say, but to keep it decently short, I'll stop there. Thank you for all you do. I have never been on the A team again for a hurricane.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Wow.
Do you volunteer for the A team?
I don't know. I don't know.
Huh. Interesting.
Isn't that wild?
That's insane.
I mean, it does not sound like anything I would want to volunteer for. I mean, like I'll volunteer to like help under these conditions, but feed me. You know what I mean? Like I can't survive on a grape and a piece of ham for 5 days.
That's what you took out of that.
That's what I'm concerned. That's my primary concern is the grapes and ham.
How about, okay, so I want to know, so it took 4 or 5 days for her friend to get in touch with her family, who was a senator.
Yeah.
How did they not know that this hospital still had patients in it?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they just had received no communication because power was down and they assumed, well, they must have been evacuated already. And they just were stretched so thin that they weren't going facility to facility to check. They were going based on calls that they were getting.
Could you imagine not talking to your families 5 days during a natural disaster?
Nope. I would perish. That's awful.
My gosh.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's terrible.
Isn't that ridiculous?
Yeah. Thank you for sending that in because, man, that's
all of you guys.
That's pretty comparable to the situation we talked about. I mean,
100%.
it's just, wow.
Yeah.
Awful conditions. Man.
I know.
I love a good break room banter.
Me too. These are my favorite.
We talk about.
These are my literal favorite. I love them so much because I like hearing from you guys.
Yes.
And I love knowing that what we're saying has an impact. Like, even if it's very niche and very specific, I love hearing that it resonates
Yes.
in certain ways.
Yes.
And it resonates such that people want to respond and write their experiences. And I just value that so much, as like a person. So I just can't express how much I appreciate every single one of you guys.
Well, it's nice because you and I open dialogue when we have these cases and we talk in our opinions.
Well, right.
It's nice to sometimes hear from the other people. Like,
it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because
it is.
It's hard to, sometimes you like forget when we're just like sitting in this basement that like there are a lot of people that listen to us. You know what I mean?
Which still baffles my mind.
Totally.
Clearly.
100%. Like I still, because sometimes I just like forget that I'm not just like shooting the shit in the basement with my bestie.
Yes.
And I don't know. I just really love and appreciate you guys. The end of the year and the holidays makes me just like appreciate the shit out of you, little goobers.
I'm different. I appreciate the shit out of you all the time.
Okay. Okay.
One up.
I do too. She's got to one-up me. Even she's got the sexy, raspy voice. She's all pissed about the fucking poinsettias. She's got to one-up me somehow. She's got a grandma's fucking village. I bought mine at Walmart. Whatever. It's fine. It's fine.
I'm sorry your grandma was not as cool.
My grandma was very cool.
I bet she was. She didn't have a Christmas village to give you.
She did not have a Christmas village to give me. You are correct. You are correct.
Well, thanks for listening, everyone.
Ugh, we love you.
If you want to check us out on Facebook, you can find us at MedCrimes Podcast.
Find us on YouTube, MedCrimes Podcast. We're fun. If for nothing else, Devin's faces are usually like a really good reason.
I want to point out that the beginning of the season, I'm like, oh my God, we're on YouTube. I have to look good. And then,
same. I had like,
oh my God, end of season 3. I'm like,
things have deteriorated.
This is what I look like.
This is just me, you guys. Oh, same. I can't remember the last time I put on makeup. It was for the podcast, but it was months ago. So you're welcome, YouTube.
I met the owners of my new company that I work for.
Yee.
On Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
I wore makeup that day.
Okay.
That was the last day I wore makeup.
More one-upping. I love it.
Man. This is what we do.
Yep. We got some really fun stuff coming down the pike for next year. We've even started talking about trying to put together for Patreon specifically like a blooper reel.
Yes.
Because there's so much crap that I edit out because we're just silly.
Sometimes inappropriate. Shocker.
I do a lot rougher editing for the YouTube stuff because I feel like sometimes seeing some of that is like fun on a YouTube video, but it's very different for the listening experience. So I do edit that a little bit more diligently. But the YouTube is fun because you get to see like a little bit more and it's sort of like a modified behind the scenes, but I want to do like a real blooper reel and make it available for our Patreon so that they can see all the silly goober
that happens while we are down here.
That happens while we're here at the Safety
It's officially
Hedge.
we're gonna, we have one more episode to go before we close out the season, but
it'll be season 4.
It's been 3 years officially now.
Oh my God,
that we started at a little table behind that wall.
We sure did. With our scratch ass audio.
That too.
Me thinking that, this will be easy. We just have to talk into a microphone for a few minutes and post it online.
I still fidget.
I was fucking wrong. It's hard. It's a lot of work and it's hard. Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
But we've grown. We've matured.
It's been fun.
We've hit a stride. We have a little groove going.
We have
the coolest bunch of listeners that I think I could have ever asked for. Like you guys are the tits. I'm going to go.
Bee's knees.
No, the tits. Well, both. You're the bee's tits.
Oh. She went up me.
I did. Finally, I win.